All right, so we're live. Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm National Recruitment Advisor at Carleton University. And we're checking in today after this is a continuation event from our Microsoft Team webinar that happened between 1:30 and 2:30. And we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to talk with some students. We have 3 students that are lined up from across the country, and they're going to be joining us here in a second. And I just wanted to mention real quick that we have a webinar series, See You at Home webinar series, and we're going to be doing sessions pretty much all month long. We did the faculties all week. It was an amazing experience. And next week we're going to start focusing on resources. We'll have some updates, Paul Menton Center, the awards, financial stuff like that. So look for that. And so I'm here at home, isolating like everybody else, and I'm trying to make it all like Dak Shepard armchair, take it kind of casual. The closest thing I get to Dak Shepard is in California is this coaster that says California. That's as close as I get to that guy. But anyway, I'm going to try to bring in Felicity, one of our students. So just give me a minute here while I try to figure out how I can find her. And I think she's trying to join. Just one sec. She's somewhere. Hey, Felicity, where are you? Yeah, so Felicity's going to come on. She's going to talk about her experience as a Bachelor of Arts student. And there we go. We're going to click on her. We're kind of getting new. The technology is new for us, so we're rolling with it. Let's see. We've got a lot of people that want to join, but no, I want Felicity in particular. So let me see if I can find her. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. Okay. So it's always, as an alumni of the Faculty in Arts and Social Sciences.
Hi.
Hey, Felicity, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was just sort of talking to everybody about me, but I want to talk about you more. And before I get going, I was just saying that I'm an Arts and Social Sciences grad myself, an alumni, and it's kind of unusual for us to get a chance as alumni to sort of mix it up with current students, get to know you a little bit. And so I wanted to ask you some questions, see how you're making out with everything. And so how are you, mate? How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I've just been, at home, obviously. I've just been doing some work today, but it's pretty relaxing here. Yeah. How about you? How are you?
Where is here? Where are you?
I'm in the Glebe. So, yeah, I
Oh,
stayed in
okay.
Ottawa for the summer. I normally do for, like, summer classes and stuff, but
Yeah.
even though everything's still online and stuff, it just made sense for me to stay here. So, yeah. I'm originally from the GTA, but I moved to Ottawa, yeah.
Where in the GTA are you from?
Like kind of near the outskirts, like in Burlington,
Okay,
Ontario. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We get in our office, we recruit students from all over the world, and
Mhm.
I'm really interested to know for the people that are watching where they're hailing in from. Maybe give us some love, a few hearts, a few thumbs up here and there would be nice.
Yeah, is anyone from the
Anybody
GTA?
from the GTA? Yes, that's our currency around here, right? On Instagram
Mhm.
Live, is waves. We get lots of waves. Hearts and thumbs up is our currency. So,
Mhm.
so you're from Burlington,
Mhm.
and what program you doing?
I'm in sociology.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when we were on the webinar, the teams, one of the questions that came up was, I don't really know what I want my major to be.
Mhm.
And like I'm a little unsure. Did you find yourself in that boat, or did you always know it was going to be sociology?
No, I was definitely like kind of confused for a while. In my early like high school days, like I knew what I wanted to do,
Hmm.
knew that I wanted to go to law school afterwards and become a lawyer. But I
Oh,
didn't
that's the
really
goal, right?
yeah, so I didn't really know like the steps to get there. And so I actually like went to the Ontario like school fair that they had like in Toronto
Yeah.
back then, and I talked with the dean, and like they told me you can basically do your undergrad in whatever you want. And I had
Hmm.
taken a few like social science classes in high school,
Hmm.
and I was really drawn to sociology, and it turned out to be like the best choice I could have made. Like I love my program so much. So
Nice.
now I kind of, because of my program, like I've kind of readjusted what I want to do, but I'm still kind of heading in the same direction, just a different path.
So What year are you in, did you say?
Fourth year now.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just
Oh,
entered my fourth year. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
When you, okay, this is I have a daughter that's in the arts and social sciences at Carleton.
Hmm.
She's just finished first year in the cognitive science degree.
Hmm.
And she became a second year student upstairs in the house. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like, and for you, it's like
Yeah.
you crossed over into the fourth year, like when you walked out of your bedroom into the living room and the
Hmm.
kitchen. Like, it's a weird
Hmm.
experience, right?
Yeah, I feel bad for people who are at like the beginning and like end of their journey. So like
Mm-hmm.
anyone who was in first year or in fourth year when everything was going on, like I definitely feel for them because they're not getting that same experience, but
Mm-hmm.
we can kind of all share in that like common, like
Mm-hmm.
we're all going through this together.
Yeah.
So there is that at least, but yeah, it's definitely like I think I got a little bit lucky being in third going into my fourth now, so that hopefully next year when things start getting back to normal, then there'll still be like regular convocation and everything.
When we all do get back to campus,
Hmm.
um, get a feeling like everybody's going to be in the quad. There's going to be like a big group hug or something.
Oh
Or
my gosh. I'm so like I miss going to campus
I
so
know.
much, and
Yeah, so do I.
especially right now, like I love summer classes because of how nice it is in Ottawa during the summer, and like
Mm-hmm.
campus itself is so gorgeous. And so like it's a very different feel. Like everyone's always outside in the quad during the summer and even in like the earlier fall months. So hopefully like that'll be the vibe when we all come back. Like everyone's very kumbaya, like very happy to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, Carlton, we're all kumbaya.
Hmm.
I just wanted to mention as well that we have our spirit wear on.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah, there
yeah.
you go. We're
Hmm.
Spirit Fridays, so
Oh
we're
yeah.
soaring along.
Hmm.
For anybody, a lot of people joining us right now, and for people joining us, we're talking to Felicity, who's from Burlington, is doing the Bachelor of Arts Sociology,
Hmm.
fourth year, and I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions if that's okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so what's it like? What's a typical day like? Like we talked, a lot of
A
students are like,
typical day.
yeah, well, I mean,
Um,
obviously not now. I
right
mean,
now is a little different. Yeah.
well, just forget about now. Let's talk about
Hmm.
when you're at school.
Um, okay, a typical day. A typical day for me personally is quite busy just because I do a lot of like extracurriculars.
Oh,
So I'm the president of my students association for sociology and anthropology.
thumbs up.
And yeah, and then I'm also involved with FAS, which is the faculty that we're all tuned in for today.
Hmm.
So I'm usually like running around like meeting people, meeting like professors and stuff, but then in between that, if I have like a class or something, then I'll go to my class, and then my friends and I sort of like all meet up at Roosters, which is like the campus cafe, or like we'll go to the library.
Hmm.
It's like a very social place. Like I never go to campus and run in, or like I never don't run into someone that I know, type of thing. Like there's always a friendly face around, so it's constantly like giving hugs, saying hi. Like it's always fun. Yeah.
We're always talking about community,
Hmm.
and you really do feel it when you're
Hmm.
out there, right?
And that was definitely like one of the reasons that I picked Carleton was like
Mm.
even when I toured it, and that's why I feel so bad for like newcomers who don't get the chance to physically like see the campus and interact with it. Like it's such a hub of like sociality, and the way that everyone is always interacting, like you can't not like run into someone. And yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was going to ask you where your favorite place to hang out with, but you beat me to it.
Hmm.
So the end goal is law school.
Um,
Have you applied or what's happening
No,
there?
so I
Okay.
had originally planned on going immediately after my undergrad, but
Hmm.
I like being in sociology, I've taken up more interest in research now. So my plan now is to do a master's first at Carleton
Oh, nice.
um, in
Yeah.
political economy. And
Mm.
then I kind of want to see where that takes me first career wise.
Hmm.
And then depending on what route I go down, then I'll go to law school after that.
It's an exciting time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when I talk to students in the GTA, because we got so many students from Toronto,
Hmm.
I always ask them like, walk me
Oh,
through the decision.
it looks like someone has a question, sorry,
Hey, that's
about,
awesome.
I don't know if we should answer it. They have a question about sociology.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to answer it?
If I'm
Why
taking
not?
sociology as a combination with something else, do I get to pick and choose the courses I take since it's not my primary major? Um, you still have to, if you're still here, who asked that question, um, you still have to take like all the required courses, but there's like a lot of like leeway in terms of like electives and stuff. Like there's, especially in social, like there's so many different electives that you can take for like many different topics. But yeah, you'll still have to take all the required courses. But sorry,
That's
could
all
you
good.
repeat your question?
No, I was just going to say, like, just speak to the decision-making process to come to Ottawa for school. Because,
Oh.
I mean, we got a ton of students from, especially like Halton region where you're from and Peel
Mm-hmm.
region. I don't know, like that place just goes off. Like that area is just like just
Mm-hmm.
amazing for us. And when you're in that, what they call the Golden Horseshoe, the Burlington, Oakville, Hamilton
Mm-hmm.
area, you have like half of the universities in Ontario are within like an hour or two, and then you
Mm-hmm.
say, "Nah,
Yeah, that's
I,
exactly what I
I'm
said.
going like." You probably said exactly that. And you went right over
Mm-hmm.
to. So was it the tour or was it the university? Like what? Talk me
It
through the
was kind of
process.
like a combination of like a few factors. One was definitely like location. Like I wanted to be in a city, but not as busy as Toronto. Like I didn't want to be dealing with that, and I didn't really want to be commuting to school. Like I wanted a place where I'd be away from home, so I could live on res and kind of get that experience still. And I knew if I went anywhere like within the GTA, I'd still just be commuting. And
Hmm.
then I also just wanted more independence, I think, but then also just the fact that Carleton's in Ottawa, which is the capital city. Like for me, there's a lot of opportunity, and like I'm very like interested and involved in like social advocacy and social change. So like to be here where a lot of like movements start, it's really cool to get to see that like on the ground and participate in a lot of those things.
Hmm.
And so, and even like just the opportunities in terms, like I'm in co-op, like I'm in sociology with a co-op option. And so like the opportunities that they give you in terms of like working with the government and stuff, it's really cool. And it like helps you build your resume like from the beginning. Yeah. I don't know about Ottawa being cheaper, as someone said, but it's it's definitely like it's definitely fun to live here. And it's like there's always something going on without it being like super busy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it is the sort of political epicenter of the country, and
Exactly.
like there's so much happening and
Hmm.
opportunities for students. So
Hmm.
yeah, we talked about that a lot. When you and I spoke earlier before this, I wanted to ask you to share like a favorite memory, and I asked you to send me a picture. So I'm going to try to bring that up.
Hmm.
You sent me this picture. What's
Yep.
going on here?
Okay, well, you can't see my face in it, but that's okay. This is before Panda Game from this past October.
Yeah.
So Panda Game is like an annual thing that happens between Carleton and U Ottawa. It's like we're rivals, obviously, with U Ottawa, and we have the Panda Game, which is a football game, and it happens at the like big stadium, Lansdowne.
Hmm.
And yeah, like this was right beforehand. So this is actually like right across from Carleton. There's like
Nice.
a huge like it's all like student housing type thing.
Hmm.
And so everyone usually like gets together beforehand to build up like pep and stuff. And yeah, it was just a really good time. Like some of these girls I met back in first year and
Hmm.
I've been friends with them ever since, and I see myself being friends with them for a while. So yeah, we were just having a good time.
Good, good. Yeah, Panda's a blast.
And it's nice because it's not like the only chance. Like if you're not that into football, then there's also the Capital Hoops, which is like basketball, U Ottawa Carleton, and
Yeah,
then Colonel By Classic, which is the hockey game.
the hockey game. Yeah. All right. So last but not least, I'm going to test your trivia knowledge,
Oh
your
gosh.
Carleton trivia knowledge. So I have
Okay.
another picture for you here. I'm going to try to bring it up. I can find it. My eyes. Anyway. Okay. So I can't find it. So I'm going to roll. I'm going to call an audible here.
Hmm.
So I'm going to go back to me. Okay. So let me get rid of that. Bear with me. Like I told you, I'm playing with the technology.
It's
So
okay.
okay,
We're patient.
so the question that I had a beautiful picture of Dunton Tower,
Okay. Oh,
and
awesome.
yeah, I know it's a shame, but you can't miss it. Just look at the window; you can see it from
Hmm.
everywhere in Ottawa.
Hmm.
Test your knowledge.
Okay.
You know, some people run up and down that for exercise.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I've only ever been in the building like twice.
Oh, okay. So you may not know
Yeah.
the answer. So I'm going to stump you on this one then. So how many floors does it have? Do,
Wow.
do, do, do,
Oh my
do,
gosh. See,
do, do.
I thought that you were gonna give me something I would know.
That
Um,
wouldn't be any good.
I want to say like close to 30, maybe
Close, close.
20, 28, 29,
No,
26,
no,
27.
22.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I was
22.
aiming too high.
I mean, you got to get up there. I
I've
mean,
only been up to 2017. That's the
okay,
highest I've gone. Yeah.
okay. Is that the Arts Lounge?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That's a phenomenal view. And the
Mm-hmm.
other side of the building, you can go into the cognitive science. They have a view of the south side of Ottawa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really something
I've
else.
never seen that side.
I think 2008 when Obama was did his first trip to Canada. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were going up there because they wanted to see the motorcade come down Bronson Avenue. Because his first trip to Canada was a trial run for all his international travel.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like full on. Like they had, we could see like I don't know, it was like 60 cars, and there was two helicopters. So one of them was just flying sideways with a guy hanging on the
Mm-hmm.
side. And then of course Obama went rogue in the market and started running anywhere he
I
wanted to go.
know.
So that's what he
That
does.
was too funny.
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So the building is named after who? Who
Robert
is who?
Dunton?
Robert Dunton? Another guess?
Jen.
One more guess.
Um,
Wonder if anybody else on here
Richard, I don't
knows.
know. I'm really feeling the R. I don't know what
Okay,
it would be.
okay.
What's
So
his name?
it's Davidson Dunton.
Davidson.
Yeah, Davidson Dunton was the longest serving president of Carleton from 58 to 72.
Mm-hmm.
And the building was built in 1970.
Mm-hmm.
And for extra bonus marks,
Oh,
this is going to be a tough one.
okay.
The name changed to Dunton Tower in 1987 in his honor, because that's when
Mm-hmm.
he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called for the first 17 years?
Trevor, you really got me here.
I'm having fun.
Um, oh, does anyone know? No, I don't think anyone wants to help me out.
Okay, so it's very
I don't know.
topical. It's topical to what we're talking about here because the building for the first 17 years was called the Arts Tower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh,
what it
I
was
didn't know
called.
that. Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and so given that we're talking about arts, I thought I'd bring in that random
Mm-hmm.
fact. So there
Mm-hmm.
you go. I'm going to give you
Oh,
a passing grade anyway.
thank you so much. Wow. I appreciate it.
Compassionate marking on Instagram Live. So, um,
Satisfactory, unsatisfactory.
right. So I wanted to thank you like a ton for joining us here today.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody give any love or thumbs up for Felicity for joining us here today?
I saw a few of my friends in here.
You got a few in there? All right.
Yeah, yeah, we're good.
So we're going to, I'm going to say goodbye
Okay. I'll,
and we're going to welcome in our next student, Talia. So thanks a lot for joining us. All right. That was fun. Enjoyed that. And yeah, some cool trivia. We're going to bring in our next student, Talia, and she's going to talk about her experience as well. And for those of you that are joining us, I just wanted to reiterate that we're doing webinars all month long. Next week is going to be Paul Menton Center, Awards, Student Experience Office. So look for that. And we will add Talia, who's going to jump in here next. Talia is like super, super involved with the FAST, so she's going to have some great things. Hey, Talia, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome aboard. How's the spirit wear looking?
I have my spirit gear. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a bunch of other Carleton apparel nearby.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite spirit wear that we've had in the last few years. I think I bought this one and I bought the one that you're wearing as well. The same one. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
So really enjoyed it.
How do you like my Dak Shepherd setup?
You know what? I think
right? California.
Oh my God, I love California. I love California.
This is a nice one here. You like this with the Vans? Check that out.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's as close as I get to that guy. So, we were talking a little bit,
Hmm.
And did you know that I graduated from the arts and social sciences?
I heard you mention it to Felicity, so that's
Okay.
great.
Yeah, I started in English and graduated in law.
Ooh,
So we do
cool.
see a lot of students change their mind and renegotiate their way, which is all good.
Hmm.
And I want to be able to ask you a few questions about like where are you from? What do you study?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Montreal, so pretty big city, but I lived in Ottawa for the last 6 years or so. So I'm familiar with both cities, and my experience kind of just started. Um, I was in biochemistry, and I actually switched to my
Really?
current program. Yeah, to my current
Wow.
program, which is linguistics. And I absolutely love it. I'm in fourth year, or rather, I'm finishing fourth, like I'm done. So this is really sweet. Um, it's been such a great number of years at Carleton, and I wouldn't, if I had to do it all over again, like I'd still pick Carleton. I'd do it. I'd do it all over again for sure.
Somebody just asked a question. What's the price for merch? Like
Ooh,
$50? Like you have a lot of it, so what would you say to that?
so something that I've been doing for the last several years, it has to do with the Carleton Bookstore's price match
Hmm.
program. So basically, what I would do is I would try to find a price match textbook, let's say on Amazon, and then what the bookstore does is you're still paying technically full price for the textbook, but you get the price match difference on a bookstore gift card, and I use those gift cards to get all my merch. Um,
Ah,
so
that's how it's
uh,
done.
yeah, so a lot of as you go through university, you kind of learn a bit more about saving money and spending it in the right places, like on Carleton merch. So
And you know what the other thing is? And there's something I used to do when I was a student. I volunteered a lot. Was when you volunteer on campus and you get involved in things, they
mhm.
almost always like gift you for being part of it, and it ends up being like a
Yeah,
gift card for the bookstore. Or
yeah,
for
you
me, it
get
was just
got a.
eight.
I think
Yeah.
once I got a fanny pack for the Panda game, which is
Mm,
very useful. So it was a lot of fun.
good tip. Good tip. So, what's a typical day look like for you? I know you're like uber involved.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if I imagine my most typical, but also my busiest day, I do like to get to campus a little earlier. I'll either pass by Roosters or I'll get a coffee at Starbucks. If my friends know me well enough, they know it's not often that that they see me without a little a latte. And I'll go to class. I'm very present in Patterson Hall as well, where not only the Department of Linguistics is, so I go to office hours often, but also the Carleton Applied and Theoretical Linguistics Society. We meet in Patterson Hall as well. And after I have class and do more of the academic stuff, I might find myself either in the library or heading to start a campus tour. I'm a campus tour guide as well, which has been a phenomenal experience. Beyond that, I'm also involved with the FAST student ambassadors, so the Faculty of Arts and Social Science student ambassadors. So that mostly entails assisting the faculty with any sort of events or anything related helping out the faculty. So it's been a really awesome experience.
So, sleep. When does sleep happen? It doesn't seem like there's a lot of time. Anything you're still involved?
When I get home,
Yeah,
when I get
nice.
home, I try to get all my work done on campus. Um, Campus is great. I think Felicity mentioned it. The campus itself is gorgeous, and I find myself studying on campus than I do, like more on campus than I do at home. But I think that could just be a personal preference as well. But I do make sure to get my 8 hours of sleep.
All right, all
Promise you
right.
that.
So you're from Quebec, and I'm always interested to talk to students who came from out of province. So
Hmm.
talk to me about that decision making process. I mean, you looked west and you saw all of Ontario
Hmm.
and beyond, and
Yeah.
then like how did it happen? How did you end up Carleton?
So the really cool story is that I actually didn't know much about Carleton at all until until Carleton came with a booth at my SAGEP, which is like a college college equivalent in Quebec, and I was immediately taken with how genuine and how open and how kind they were. And I immediately started doing a bit of research, and I found out it was in Ottawa, and both my parents had lived in Ottawa in the past. So it was all pretty exciting, and one thing led to another, and here I am so many years later.
Nice. We had a question here about what your favorite class is.
Oh, that's such a hard question. If I talk about my favorite linguistics class, oh man, this is so hard. It would definitely, I'd say, have to be a tie between my phonetics class, which is a second-year linguistics class that talks about all the different sounds and like how we articulate them, which was super cool. It ended up being the part of the subtopic of my undergrad honors thesis. And the other one I would say has definitely more about, it's called Language Typology and Universals. It's a course that talks about what is similar between languages. We address questions kind of like, why is Thursday called Thursday? It's because of Thor and all these different cool little quirks. It's amazing. Yeah.
So when we spoke, I'd asked you to share about a favorite experience. And you sent me this picture.
Yes.
What's happening here?
So this was actually during the data collection for my undergrad honors thesis this past year. I did my thesis on the Armenian language. And this picture was me collecting my data, interviewing my participant in Toronto. So I went to Toronto to do this. And as I was starting, the participant's wife stopped me and said, no, you have to make sure that you have, all the traditional elements of Armenian culture in this picture while you're doing this interview. So, there's the pomegranate, the flag, all these different symbols, which was really, really nice. And when I look back on it, I think I was very fortunate, just because I think not even a few days after that, all the restrictions came into place, and that was one of my last participant interviews. So I just made it, and thank goodness I was able to complete everything on time with that. But it was definitely a really cool experience. Okay,
now we're switching gears. Hardcore trivia for you.
I'm so ready for this.
Are you so ready? Okay.
I really like trivia. I really like trivia.
Right. Well, it's going to get tough here. We're getting tougher as we go. So this, because you're like super smart, so I'm going to do this. Who is this person?
That I can't tell his face, but I'll bet you anything it's Lester B. Pearson.
You got it.
Who is, I think, one of Carleton's either presidents or chancellors.
Right. Yeah. So you're able to identify him by his chin, which is that's extra points for that. That's
I'll tell you, I can tell you why. So fun fact, it's actually a reason why Ottawa is one of the best cities to study in. I'm also, or rather up until recently, because of COVID-19, I was employed through FSWEP. So that's the Federal Student Work Experience Program. It matches full-time university students essentially to government departments. And I'd been working within the tourism industry, which unfortunately has been really heavily hit by this. And so I'm very much an expert on everything Parliament, Prime Ministers, Ottawa related. I've gained a very big appreciation for it, but yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, I didn't know that. That was not a plant.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that was your thing. He was the 14th Prime Minister of Canada from 63 to 68. Yeah. Iconic historic figure, statesman, scholar, Carleton lecturer. So he lectured. He lectured in history and poli-sci.
Cool.
And was our chancellor from 69 to 72. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Little known fact, you wouldn't know this. This year was an exciting time for us. We became a 3-generation Carleton family.
Wow.
So yeah, my daughter's there. I met my wife in Dutton Tower, and my daughter's grandfather received her degree from this man in the quad at Carleton. Yeah. That's kind of neat. Eh? That is kind of insane when you
Wow.
think about it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they used to do the convocation in like in the quad before the tower
Wow.
was there. Yeah, so
That is that would be something really special, although I don't think with the current number of students or
no,
graduating
it
you'd be
definitely
able
wouldn't
to
work
fit
now.
in a spot.
Yeah, I love all this like random freaky history stuff. I'm a bit of a history nerd, so
Yeah.
I'm going to shut you down because I got another student to get to, and I'm like
That's
talking too much.
perfect.
But Talia, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Lots of love for Talia,
Thank you.
and thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we're going to be welcoming Claire aboard, and thanks, Claire, for waiting because we went way longer than we thought we would. And Claire's going to join us. Claire is from the Bachelor of Humanities program, and hopefully we're gonna find her in a second. Yeah, here we go. Claire has the best handle. Hers is, should I say it? I guess it's going to come up anyway, isn't it? A well-read mannequin, which I think is just such a cool handle. And Claire's a very cool person. We talked a little bit yesterday about stuff. Hey,
Hello.
Claire. So I'm just going to bring the people up to speed just real quick before I get to you. We're doing webinar series all month long at See You at Home. We did a Teams live event with the Associate Dean Ann Bowker from 1:30 to 2:30. And then we brought in the heavy hitting stars of the show, the students. All right. So where are you joining us from today, Claire?
I'm joining you from, still sunny, Squamish, British Columbia.
All right. All right. It rains quite a bit there, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to rain later.
We're said everybody in Vancouver like all the time.
Yep.
I was there once and it rained for 13 straight days.
The November before I
Yeah.
went into first year, we had
Yeah.
6 straight weeks without sun.
Wow. We're raining in Ottawa today just in your honor. It's been sunny here like for the whole week, but we rained in your honor here today.
Oh, I appreciate that.
See, we're all about the helping. So I'm an alum from the Arts and Social Sciences. You're taking a specialty degree
Yes.
in humanities. And I want to know, like, what's a typical day like for a humanities student?
For a humanities student, well, we have a lot of 8:30 classes in our department, so getting up early, getting to campus. We have the third floor of Patterson is almost completely given over to the College of the Humanities. So we have our own lecture theater and our own lounge. So depending on when you have classes, usually humanities students sort of bounce between the lecture theater, the lounge, or our seminar room. For the most part, I am there in Patterson on the third floor all day, every day, with the exception of when I'm getting lunch or when I'm in a different class in a different building.
It's a really sweet spot.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, I go up there once a year, take a look around, and you guys have like a grand piano,
Yep.
a library.
Yeah, we have our own little collection of great books texts. For the most part, most of the course texts are in our lounge. So if a student forgets one at home or doesn't have the money necessary to buy all of them, we usually have one available, and if it isn't on the shelf, someone has their copy because we're a pretty small, tight-knit community.
That's right. That's right. So what's your favorite course?
My favorite course, technically I'm doing a double major in the philosophy department as well. So I have a favorite philosophy course and a favorite humanities course. My favorite humanities course would be Humanities 2000, which is called Reason and Revelation, which is the history of ancient and medieval Western philosophy from Plato to Dante Alighieri. I actually have a little pin of.
There you go.
And then my favorite philosophy course would probably be Philosophy 2541, Personal Identity and the Self, which is a course about understanding philosophical theories about what it means to be a person, what it means to be a self, and what it means to have an identity.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Are you going to do anything internet? Did you do international with the program? I know there's a Leuven, Belgium thing.
I did.
Did you do that? Or are you going to? No?
But one of the people in my year kind of did it last year, went to Leuven, and he said it was a fantastic time. Leuven is a Catholic university, of course, in Belgium, with a phenomenal history of philosophy department. So a lot of humanities students who are interested in philosophy like me do wind up going to Leuven. I didn't really have the time or the money to make it happen, but...
Right, right. So what's the end goal with this degree? What do you want to do?
Well, I'm hoping to go on to do a master's degree and then my PhD in philosophy and hopefully be a lecturer or a professor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We hear that a lot from the students that join the program, Humanities, saying that they want to go out and do graduate work. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
like duh, I'm doing graduate work, and there's been a number of students that gone on to medical school too.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have a lovely deal with I think it's the science faculty, where students who are interested in both the humanities and biology can take the HUMS Bio program, which prepares students both for the biological, the sciences part of being a doctor or doing pre-med, but also gives you a very worldly education in the liberal arts and our typical HUMS curriculum, which is focused on sort of understanding the history of thought in the Western world. And from what I've heard from people who've gone on to do pre-med stuff and people who are in the bio-HUMS program, it's one of the things that can make the difference when you're applying to med school is having this extra humanities degree as well as your biology degree, because medical schools want well-rounded students, not just people who are really competent.
Yeah. A couple of people hailing in here, and somebody's asked, "What have you missed?" We've been interviewing 3 students from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, and now we're talking to Claire, who's from the Humanities program. Hello. And somebody's asking, what social groups should I be joining to connect with other humanities students?
Okay, well, so our department, our college is quite small. So usually if you aren't already, once you're in the program after your first week, you'll get invited to all the different social groups because they're all pretty much closed. But from my knowledge, most years have their own Facebook group chat or Facebook groups. You can go looking for Carleton Humanities, whatever year it is you're graduating. I know that we have our own sort of insular meme page that is all history and philosophy and art history and music history memes that are born out of the humanities program, which again, someone will bring up in the first week of you being in the program. Yeah. But I don't actually know how you'd go about finding any of them. I think we have an alumni Facebook page that Andrea, our administrator, is sort of in charge of. So if you look up Carleton Humanities alumni, that's probably your first best bet, because just about all of us are on there, and the people who can get you connected are on there, and they'll be able to help you out. A lot of the professors are on there as well.
Cool.
So you can sort of get to know them a little bit.
All right. So when I was talking to you earlier, I'd asked you to share a picture with us, or an experience, and you sent this.
My stack of books.
Yes. What's this all about?
All right. So there's actually 2 things about this stack of books. It's 3 of the most important books you'll read in Humanities 2000. So they're almost all books that every humanities student will buy. But more importantly to me, these books are some of the books that I will be reading over the course of this summer, as I am working on a Maurice Price Foundation summer research internship into the political philosophy of the Middle Ages. And these 3 books, which I have the complete works of Plato, the basic works of Aristotle, and an anthology of the works of St. Thomas Aquinas, are all important philosophical texts that feed into that tradition. Unfortunately, in this stack, I don't actually have the most important book I'll be reading, which is Dante's De Monarchia, because I unfortunately don't have a physical copy of that book. It's quite rare. But my project itself is mostly revolving around reading the Monarchia and picking out the history of philosophical thought that goes into Dante's work, which is why I have the little Dante pin.
Nice. Okay, this is great, because when you sent me this picture, I didn't know that you were going to send this picture, and I was creating like a really cool. I was going to try to make a really hard trivia question for you because we've been, they've been pretty easy so far, and you're like super smart. So
Oh,
I wanted to make something unique for you. So I was thinking about what am I going to ask this person for the trivia question. So this is what I came up with. Okay, so for your trivia question, I want to know what the name of this picture is.
oh, that is the School of Athens by Raphael,
Right.
and it is a fresco in Rome. I
Okay.
can't remember the exact building.
It is. It's in the Vatican. Stanza de Raffaello.
Yes.
It's a definite bucket list for me. I'm fascinated by this picture. And more to the point, in the picture that you just shared, you had a book
Yes.
of Plato and Aristotle. So the next picture I did was, what are these two people doing? They're right in the center of this picture.
Okay. Well, this is actually okay. This painting is one of the paintings we actually look at in one of our humanities courses in the second year.
Yeah.
We do an art history course, and so because I've taken that course, and it's one of my favorite courses I've taken in the humanities department, I know that the person pointing up is Plato, while the person who is sort of pointing down and holding the book is Aristotle. And the reason why they are positioned that way is the medievals and sort of the tradition of philosophy that sprung from these two thinkers held them to be sort of creating a unified theory of philosophy as opposed to two separate bodies of philosophy, which their contemporaries believed them to be making. And in this this theory of education that the medievals thought that just about every learned person should take, you would start with Aristotle because he does a lot of work on logic and physics and sort of the material world around you. He, of course, writes treatises on biology and whatnot. All the things that are down around you. And
Right.
then once you've mastered Aristotle, you move on to Plato, who teaches more universal truths about beauty and the forms and the things that live in the heavens. And so by reading first Aristotle and then Plato, you can then move on to a deeper introspection on the Bible itself, which, of course, is the ultimate medieval Catholic sort of philosophical treatise.
It's believed to have been painted between 1509 and 1511.
Yes.
If you walk down the hallway in Patterson Hall and you look at the end, that's what you see, right?
It is. It's one of my favorite things about that. One of the first time I walked down that hallway in 303 and saw that painting at the end, I was like, I've never been here before, but yet I'm home.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in. I love this.
I was sold.
And I've been around long enough to remember that when the College of Humanities was created, it was part of the test to get in to the school was ask people to write a piece about it. So
That's amazing.
yeah, we don't do that anymore. But that's when it first came on my radar, and I was like, what's this all about? So all these people are all philosophers, and nobody really
Yes.
knows like who they all are specifically. Well, I'm sure somebody does. I don't. But
Yeah, I think the ones that I recognize from the course, the person who's sort of kneeling down like this is supposed to be Michelangelo. And it's
Okay.
sort of a dig at him because he was this sort of like haughty artist who was always like full of himself, but also kind of
Ah,
sad because no one could understood him. He
ah.
was like a misunderstood. So he's
So
sitting there like, oh,
oh,
no one
he's
ever
like
understands
pouting
me.
or something. He's
Yeah,
pouting. Okay,
yeah.
that's so cool. The thing that I read as we close out here about this painting, and this is kind of a way to sum up what we've done here today, is I read somebody called this painting, quote, a visual representation of the role of love in elevating people toward upper knowledge. So I think that really encapsulates well what we've been doing here today and why we've had all you students on, is that that's what we're here for, elevating
For sure.
people towards upper knowledge.
Yeah,
So it's kind of a nice way to round things out. Um, enjoy the weekend.
for sure. Thank you.
For
You.
everybody that's been that joined us today, thank you for joining us as well. We're going to close it out. Um, it's a long weekend in Canada, Victoria Day long weekend. Wherever you are, enjoy your weekend, whether it be short or long. Stay safe, be well, and follow us at CU Home for the webinar series that's going to happen for the rest of the month. And once again, it was a tremendous pleasure, Claire, to have you with us today, and
Thank you.
all the other students, and for everybody for joining us. So we'll talk to you soon.
For sure.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.